Hello, and welcome back. So today, I actually have a very specific question. And oddly enough, even though it's a question about growth, I typically go and ask my shadow deck. Today, I am feeling guided to use my nature deck, which isn't necessarily odd, it just I typically use the shadow deck for the serious questions, if that makes any sense. So, like the deep questions. Nothing wrong with my nature deck. I just ask different questions based off the deck. However, this time, like I was just said 5 seconds ago, I'm feeling like I should be pulling this one. And even though the thing says I could do 3 or 4, I mean technically you can pull as many cards as you want. You don't have to follow the rubric, it just kinda helps. So here we go. The question is, what blockages or what can I do to remove the blockages that are preventing me from being my most highest self? My I don't even know how to phrase it, just your highest, your best self. I'm still holding myself back. I can still feel old pieces of myself either refusing to let go or just not wanting to get with the program. And I'm trying my best. And again, this is normally why it's the shadow deck, because the shadow deck is made to illuminate the shadows. But again, today, we ain't doing that. So, you can sit here for a minute, getting all the tinglies. What will you eliminate the blockages, or what I do to remove the blockages? We're gonna go with Renewal of Peace. Renewal of Peace. That's fair. Peace has been a big part in me lately. I'm learning how to be peaceful even with the surroundings being all crazy. Like recently, I had some 3D human stuff pop up that I was not okay with. And of course, I instantly gave into fear. I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this is going on. What am I gonna do? I'm flipping out, I'm flipping out, I'm breaking out. I'm scared, I'm afraid. And then it's funny in a haha, not a yeah, no, it's just kind of weird funny. Even though I know I've been taken care of and everything's been okay, I still freak out about certain things. It's like, oh, I lost my job. 2 weeks later, I have a new job. All bills were paid. Everything's good. But then the next thing comes up, and I'm just like, I'm just like, wait. I was kind of in a similar situation. Spirit came through for me, God, the universe. So why am I freaking out? Well, because this happened. Yeah, yeah, it did, and it sucks. It really sucks. But I guess you can have your little freak out moment, and then we'll move on. So, renewal of peace for me is getting back to the state of calm no matter what's going on around me. Because honestly, that is something I'm struggling with. And as the book tells you, once I flip to the correct page, Cod 1 tells you about the past, what has been occurring up to this moment, or what lessons you're working on now. Peace. Trying to get myself back to peace. I actually don't read these cards. Let me. Routine. I don't read this very often. I do if I don't make sense. If I don't make sense. However, it's always nice to kind of read. It's important to maintain peace with all aspects of your life mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Inner imbalances can often manifest in your daily life. If you don't make time to take care of yourself, it doesn't matter whether your imbalance is a negative one. Be optimistic to the point of believing yourself to be invincible. It can also lead to challenges. Balance is best achieved through listening to your body. Take time for yourself and allow your inner power to heal and return to being peace-filled. This will assist and make you strong. So it's kind of like the image I just had in my head. It was like an old kung fu movie, you know, the guy is standing on a pillar and he's like a bamboo shoot even, something very tiny, and he's standing with all of his balance and he's holding himself still and he seems to be tranquil and at peace because he's not losing his balance. And then a bee comes by and he's just like, holy crap. And then he has to quickly, get back in balance and be like, we're good. We're good. It's, you know what? It's good. If I don't bug the bee won't bug me. And it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Fear is definitely kicking my butt. What's the next card? I can't read it. Celebrate differences. Well, that's an interesting one. I actually have yet to get that one. What do you have to say? Because this one actually is not making sense to me right now. Celebrate differences. The middle card has information about your current situation, what you're working on or learning to let go, or what you should know right now. Celebrate your differences. You understand that everything in life comes with an opposite. Even within yourself, you have polarity: male, female, high, low, good, bad, light, dark. It is our differences that make us unique. We all come from the same collective and have the light of the inner soul. The more we learn and grow in our thoughts and attitudes, the more understanding and compassion can develop within our lives. Take a moment to appreciate an individual for the qualities they are sharing with you. You find what learning can be gained from the situation. Okay, that's fair. Not I don't know how it's related. Oh, it's related to my question because learning inner peace. I still have some ego left over that says, "Oh, f that guy," because I don't like this quality about them. I definitely still feel that. Kind of judgy. It is what it is. But it's like maybe something someone does annoys me. Well, that's just the ego. Because in reality, you're learning to love yourself for everything that you do, the good and the bad. You can learn to love others for what they do. Mainly because it's the understanding of where they're coming from. Being the person that went through something similar or understanding where I come from. I used to get bullied a lot. So when you get bullied, you become the bully. And if you don't realize that habit, you never break it. You still bully people whether you know it or not. So when you see someone else bullying someone, I mean, obviously don't let them do it. You stand up for that person, but you understand where it's coming from. Maybe they're getting bullied by someone else. Maybe they're getting bullied by their family. So it takes a minute to realize what happened to that person to make them like that. You can sit there and play if, ands, ors, you know, but love them for it. Now, I'm not saying let them continue, like, say, for instance, someone's abusing mentally or physically. Don't let that happen. Don't put up with it. And I know it's a little difficult to say love them for it because it's like, they're being mentally abusive or physically abusive. I don't think I can love them for them. Yeah. But that's how you change hearts. There was a story I remember my dad told me. There was a shooting. I mean, there's always shootings, but years and years ago, there was a shooting of one specific little girl, and the family actually met the killer and told them they forgave him. And it actually like changed the dude's life or something. I don't know if I'm quite at that point. I'm still kind of at a if someone wrongs me, I'm still kind of irked. And that's part of the thing it's telling me to let go. It's like, hey man, let it go. That's one of my blockages. I'm not completely loving. I'm not gonna get myself down because it is a difficult thing to do. But acknowledging it and moving forward, yeah, there are things that irritate me. It's just human. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where we're not irritated. I hope so. That's the goal. Get to the point when nothing phases you. Doesn't mean you gotta put up with it. Doesn't mean you gotta allow it. Just don't get triggered. Or learn to deal with the triggers. So even though maybe I work with people that I don't necessarily like, or they do things I don't necessarily like, love them for the differences and the diversity because that makes them them and you you. Now, if you want to get all esoteric, yeah, we're all the same entity, same person, but we are separate fractions of the same entity or person. So love them for their individuality as you love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. All those Christians out there, I know you've heard that one. Card 3. Still can't read it, but the artwork looks amazing. The big picture. Kinda okay, that does make sense. That leads into everything else. The big picture being, instead of being stuck in your ego, oh, that guy fucking cut me off, fuck him. It's more like, alright, you know what? Maybe that guy's having a bad day. Let it go. And that's not even what it means. It means the bigger picture of everything. You could go in and argue and be like, alright, well, people aren't really people, they're energies. And these energies come and go in your life to teach you a lesson or show you something about yourself. For instance, my last best friend I had, we were two alike because I realized we were rooted in similar trauma. And I noticed things where he was really controlling and kind of narcissistic, and this, I could sit here and give you a whole freaking list, of stuff, traits and actions and things that he did that irked me. But then I was like, wait. Since everyone is a reflection of us, and I'm attracted to being like his friend, as in the sense of we ended up being friends for a reason, we get along for a reason, then maybe I also share those qualities. Maybe there's a reason we're friends. And I saw that, and I let go of those qualities, and we're no longer friends. Again, that doesn't mean criticize and judge him for it, because I understand where he's coming from, but I definitely stopped putting up with it too. Because that was one of the lessons I learned. He was also borderline abusive, and so on and so forth. So just see the bigger picture and everything. In reality, it's like that fly on the wall, or a fly on a horse. Your attention to detail is too zoomed in from such a small focal point. You may see the fly on the horse, but you don't even notice it's on a horse, kind of thing. That's a really old adage. I don't even know if anybody knows about that one. I'm sure. But instead of seeing the fly, see the horse and the fly. See everything. The big picture. Is that really all the message? So renew your peace, celebrate your differences, and see the big picture. It's funny because all 3 cards actually tie together. Seeing the big picture also helps renewal your peace. Because again, you could be so focused on that minute detail of what's going wrong and what's bad or what's not your wanted outcome that you don't get peace. You're so focused on that negativity, you're not peaceful, you're not. But then if I zoom out and be like, you know what? Yeah, there's bad things happening right now, but this just happened, that just happened, that just happened. I got through all of those things here. So you know what? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get through this next one too. So there's actually I'm always misquoting stuff because I read the knowledge, but I don't remember the people or the quotes or where it came from. So one of them, I think, is some kind of stoicism. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's anemone, minimalizing your issues. So again, not dismissing them and saying, "Oh, nothing's wrong," and being toxically positive, but like, you know what? Maybe in the grand scheme of things, this issue isn't really that big of an issue. I still have this. I still have my home. I still have food. I'm still good. I'm still okay. And it may have been a setback, but I'm still good. And you look at the positives because the bigger picture is easier to well, it's not easier to focus on, but it really puts things in perspective. So it's like it minimalized. Say for instance, I'm so focused on my issues. Now, I'm not saying go watch the news because I actually think the news is malarkey, but you say for instance, there's wars out there. There are people who are homeless. There are like you could sit there and it's not play the comparison game. Don't do that to feed your ego and feel like, oh, I'm better. No, it's like when you look at the world as a whole, everything's just an effing chaos. And I'm not saying it from an ego standpoint to say, hey, you know what, my life is better than this person's. No, no, it's just like look at the big picture and be like, you know what, maybe my flat tire really isn't that big of an issue. Because in reality, or the status of things around me, crap's going crazy no matter what. I think I'll get through my flat tire. I hope I drove my point home. Or I got a flat tire somewhere down the road and it just didn't quite make it. Now I feel kind of bad about that joke. But anyways, I think that's all that was coming through. So find my renewal of peace. Because even if bad things are happening, you'll be okay. We're always okay. And I say this from a honest, vulnerable spot. My energies have been pretty crazy, and again, I get stuck in a mentality of give up, suicide. I used to be a person who gave up at every drop of the hat. Instantly, anything bad happened, I just, oh, I'm done, I give up. I've been fighting that mentality again lately because I did have something come up, and I'm just like, dude, I'm so scared, I'm worried that I'm done. I'm tired. My soul is tired, my body is tired, my spirit's tired. But again, in the grand scheme of thing, it's just another lesson. It's just more energy. More energy you gotta work through. And suicide wouldn't solve anything. So kind of look at everything. Bird's eye view is a good way to say. When you're up there in the clouds, you see everything. Like a map. You see it like a map. And then again, you can see how all the dots connect together, and you're like, oh, maybe things aren't that bad. I'm telling this to myself multiple times because I feel it in my heart. It's kind of dispelling the fear. I am still very afraid, but it is what it is. You guys have a great night, and hopefully this helped. Or a day. It's night for me, that's why I said that. I'm gonna stop talking now because words aren't working anymore. Hasta luego.